I don't go and see the voodoo lady. Good morning in some places, good afternoon in others. Um, we'll fire away with these old impromptus. So, this morning, going to be talking about your rights as a suspect. And in this case, your rights as a suspect in a major crime. Um, so, I'm going to go ahead and get right to it. Now, of course, my opinion, and if you watched any of the information in the expose from Skilo the other evening, 2 nights ago, 3 nights ago, um, you understand as a suspect, you have the right to remain silent, right? It is your right to remain silent. With that being said, not everyone cares about those rights. Before we get to that, I want to go ahead and I want to. That isn't what I wanted to do necessarily. Anyhow, this is Summer Moon Utah Wells. She's been missing since June 15th, 2021. She's missing from Hawkins County, Tennessee. She's age 5, 40 pounds, 3 foot tall. If you have any information about her whereabouts, please call 1-800-TBI-FIND. Again, that is 1-800-TBI-FIND. If you don't want to do it that route, you can email your tips to tips2tbi@tn.gov. Again, that is tips2tbi@tn.gov. Thank you so much for that. Moving forward, knowing your rights as a suspect. What are your rights when you are a suspect in a police investigation? Well, in case the stool doesn't know, we're going to go ahead and get her up to date. Okay, it says, if the police are questioning you about where you were or your actions in association with a criminal investigation, you should consider yourself a suspect. You need to be very careful what you say and do so that you not sound guilty or have your statements lead to criminal charges. You also have important protections under our U.S. Constitution that you need to understand and enforce in this situation. Important rights to exercise if the police suspect you committed a crime. Even if you know that you are innocent and have nothing to hide, you cannot assume that your problems will be over if you cooperate with the police. The reality is, Jody, that you could find yourself charged with a crime that you did not commit, Jody. If the police are contacting you about a criminal investigation, Jody, you want to exercise these important rights, Jody. Right to leave. If you are not under arrest and have not been given your Miranda rights under the Fifth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, you can and should leave. Sidebar. Even if that means they'll go to the news and say you're unfucking cooperative. Moving forward. If the police stop you, the problem may be that you may not be certain if you are being arrested or simply questioned. The best strategy is to ask the officer, Jody. If he says that you are not under arrest, you should leave and contact an experienced criminal defense attorney right away to help you determine your next steps. Right to privacy. Oh boy. But you got to want it, though. That's the thing. So your right to privacy under the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution gives you the right to be protected from unreasonable searches and seizes of your property and yourself. Unless the police have a search warrant, Jody, you have the right to refuse to allow them to search your home, car, or other property, or you. Number 3, which really should be number 1, you have the right to remain silent, Jody, and not incriminate yourself under the Fifth Amendment. If police are questioning you, Jody, you should invoke this right and remain silent. You should also advise the officer that you want your attorney present. You should not answer the police officer's questions or talk to them because they could get you to make incriminating statements. Oh boy. Hi, Chihuahua. Jody, you got the right to an attorney. Under the Sixth Amendment to the Constitution, you have a right to an attorney. If you are a suspect or are even worried that you want to exercise this right and retain an attorney. Like an ASAP, Jody. Hiring an experienced criminal defense attorney immediately may help you avoid criminal charges. What should you do if the police want to interrogate you, Jody? Well, if the police bring you in for questioning, Jody, this is not the time to go it alone. You want to exercise your right to an attorney and contact an attorney immediately before having any further discussion with the officers. It is critical, Jody, that you remain firm and insist that your lawyer be present before you speak to the police. Police officers are trained to use many tactics, Jody, to get people to talk to them. Your attorney can spot these tactics and help you stay clear of them. Can also give you critical guidance on how to handle the officer's questions given your specific situation. Some general tips to follow include: Jody, remain calm. At all times, do not get your loons in a wad. PowerPoint. B, do not lie or obstruct an investigation. This is a separate criminal offense that you could be charged with. You lying such and such, you lying like a crouton on a brown salad, baby. PowerPoint number 3, do not waive any of your rights at all. I mean, at all. PowerPoint number 4, if you are placed in a holding cell or a camper for over 485 days, not discuss your case with inmates or the fucking internet for that matter. PowerPoint number 5, do not discuss your case on a jail telephone, as the conversation could be tape recorded, or on the fucking YouTube live streams 400 times in a row, as they could be recorded. What does it mean if the police stop questioning you, Jody? Let's take a sidebar real quick. Anybody want to know how many days it's been from June 15th, 2021 till today? Let me entertain you. Are you not entertained? 484 days. This one here with the O'Reilly Auto Parts face. Been a suspect that long. Can you imagine? Holy shit. They got to be setting some kind of record. You dig? And I mean, it's a very dynamic record. It's how long can one stay self-imposed on a camping trip as a suspect? Something to that. How long can one sleep on a fold-out table as a bed as a suspect as well? And shit on a bucket. This thing, you got to get the whole trifecta moving forward. Jody, what does it mean when you have to email the chief? Oh, and tell him you're not being histrionic. Well, unfortunately, it does not mean that you are not a suspect if the police stop questioning you, Jody. They could be exploring other evidence and leads in their investigation, or, Jody, even obtaining a warrant for your arrest. Are you a suspect in a criminal investigation? Oh, for fuck's sake, you are. Jody, if you have not exercised all of your rights, all is not lost. Our experienced criminal defense attorneys have helped many people as dumb as you who have not followed all the advice in this article. Call Benny Keys today to schedule a free consultation to get your questions answered, baby, and help in dealing with this Hawkins County Sheriff's Department investigation. Whew. Whew. That was a lot. No. That was surplus. So, you got to ask yourself, right? You have to ask yourself. Someone not doing all the things that article says as a suspect. You're involved knee deep in the suspectry. Probably, no. Jody's Adam's apples deep in the suspectry. The kingdom of suspecthood. The suspectory dome. It's much like the Thunderdome. Whew. This is a lot. So you have not evoked any of these rights, federally or on a state level. Now, However entertaining it's going to be for many of us, if you go to jail for something, I assure you it could be avoided. Well, somewhat avoided. Now, after 484 days of being a suspect, when do you call it quits? Jody, when do you call it quits? When do you wake up one morning and say, I've had enough of being a suspect? I won't live one more day as a suspect. See, you could be as untasteful as any fucking YouTuber, but when you do it, you're also a suspect. You're also a suspect. When you go down to the price less and you get your groceries, baby, you're a suspect. When you go to the grocery store and get you the 2-pack so you can save $1.68, you do that as a suspect, baby. When you sit on that bucket and relieve yourself, you're a suspect, baby. When you don't go visit your mama in the hospital after she done had a heart attack, you don't do that as a suspect, baby. Shoo-wee. The suspectory is real. It's the full spectrum suspectory. You understand me? Now, I want everyone to please keep Dutchie in your prayers, as someone close to her was involved in a very tragic situation about 24 hours ago or so. It's a very tragic situation. So all of you keep her in your prayers, keep her in your thoughts. Love conquers all, right? So did she say something about being fine with living the rest of her life as a suspect? In fact, what she says is until she burns in hell. Until she burns in hell. The prayers for Dutchie. That being said, we come over here really quick. Oh, O'Reilly Auto Parts. Let's see here. So there is this is a very sad situation. This is one of those times where it's so cringy to watch folks do what they do, involved in what they're involved in. But it have made everybody around that this Jolissa, it have made everybody around that girl a suspect. Meanwhile, she just had an accident. You know, it starts to look very reminiscent of potentially what we got going on with the Kylie Rodney situation. Like I done seen people now. What's her name? Michelle Walks. I never watched one of her videos. I don't know anything about her, but I see she made a video and it said, "Oh, the fire cam is fake" or something like that with a question mark. I don't even know, but it's to that point now, right? So, the search with TBI is ongoing and the investigation is still active. Authorities are searching for the red, maroon Tacoma truck, 1998 to 2000, with a full ladder rack and look, it's in the back of the truck, man. You know that ain't what you're looking for. Quit that. Quit that. So this is a brand new. This is from the 10th, and it's been updated this morning for some reason. Hawkins County, Tennessee, a statement posted to social media by the Hawkins County Sheriff Office insists that the Sheriff's Office is still actively investigating the Summer Wells case. Social media statement states the HCSO is following up on tips pertaining to the disappearance of Summer in June. Sheriff's Office also said that they're continuing to ask for the public's help in identifying an older Toyota Tacoma that investigators believe is connected to the case. Now, I don't know if that's a change of vernacular or if it is, if it's me. Maybe that means nothing. But now, seemingly, that verbiage has changed, right? Before it was just want to speak to somebody. Now you believe it's connected. So I red truck connected, question mark. It's interesting, right? According to the statement, the case is one of the highest priorities of the HCSO. At this time, Wells has been missing for almost 4. Oh, wait. What the hell is this? 2021. Okay. I just scanned it. So this is a year ago, up to that point. That's interesting because I guess I had not ever seen it. Connected to me is a strong vernacular. It's just a stronger vernacular. It's more than, hey, we'd like to talk to this person about what they may or may not have seen, right? As this vehicle, whomever the driver is, was alleged to have been in the area parked alongside the road. So investigators believe is connected to the case. Wow. That's awesome, Dutchie. You got me. You got me. I looked at the date. Hold on. What is the date? Ew. Yeah. I was like, hold on, man. So that's beautiful. I get it now. Not good on me for my articulateness this morning. But in re-looking at that, connected to the case, that's interesting. Because I guess I didn't read this. It's interesting. Now, let me tell you what. So, friend of mine who also had contact with Donald at some point during the investigation, she got a notification yesterday. It's very strange. She got a notification that Don Wells had created a Google Duo or a Google Meet, like a video service, to video chat on Android or Android to Apple. And so she sent me the screenshot and then we talked about it. I was like, whoa, that is weird. Although I'm pretty sure that at this point, somebody else has commandeered that number. I've not called it, but, and that's a good point, Crimes. That's a good point. I don't know. Maybe nothing. Maybe continue on doing it just as she is now. Hard to say. Very hard to say. Whatever the case may be, I do believe that there will be not necessarily a duel or even a showdown, but it's going to be words exchanged at the very least. So I don't know. I want to keep this short and sweet, as the point was to just remind Jody what the hell your rights are as a suspect. I don't know, Skilo. That's a good point. I felt like maybe someone else had commandeered the number and potentially they had created a Google Duo and that the notification shot down. I don't have, I got an Apple, so for whatever reason, I didn't get that same brand of notification. So isn't it interesting that even when none of us speak of JSP, she would still pretend we are? Absolutely. So I want to give her something to talk about. Say, baby, hey, this is a guideline. This is like a survival kit, right? This is a survival pack for how to remain free as a suspect. Now, I would tell you this. At some point, what PowerPoint 6 or 7 should say is that at some point, You got to start trying to work towards not being a suspect, right? Now, of course, that's all good information, understanding that that information is authored by a fucking criminal defense attorney. But yeah, it's got a little fulcrum designed into it to try to get you to do what? Retain a free world attorney, retain a private attorney, right? I mean, Jody, a public defense attorney would even now, you can't be appointed one right now as a suspect, quite naturally. Till you're charged, you cannot. So you out here freeballing like a man with no panties on. You freeballing, baby. You okay, weekend warrior. You know what I mean? A weekend warrior. You need to get your shit together, baby, because you do have rights and you need to follow them, right? PGOA told me that Don has been kept fully informed as to JSB's activities on YT since his incarceration, so it could get really interesting. You know, there was a point in time where I was like, hey, maybe I'll keep contact with dude about what's going on. That's torturous, right? Like, it's torturous when you have X sentence laid out in front of you. It can go by fast if it's drama free. It goes by at regular speed. Then, but add in a bunch of problems with your old lady, and that's double time, right? A day seems like it takes a week to go by. You know what I'm saying? So I just didn't feel like that was the way. So I stayed away from trying to keep him informed on what was the new to do with his wife. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit. He has 16,000 people probably Jay paying him and writing them letters and shit. Like, can we send JSB like 100 Home Depot orange buckets? She'll litter the fucking countryside with them, so be careful. As soon as you send her 100 buckets, you can't even drive through them hollers no more. It'll be like chicken pox. Ting, 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 ting. Yeah, I agree, Sage. That's just what it is, right? Like, I got no, like, the man is there to pay for his debt to society, not to have his time drag out. You know what I'm saying? So that wasn't for me to do. Anyways, with that being said, I sure appreciate all of y'all for stopping by so that I could re-inform in bucket liners about just some of them cheap fucking hotel liners, the ones that don't even hold ice, they poke through. Oh God, that's a walk of shame. Like, it's many walks of shame for this one right here. Anyway, with that being said, I sure appreciate all the support this morning while we re-invoke Jody's rights as a suspect on day 484. That being said, remember, the absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence. God bless you all.